Alright, here we are with book number 12. If I didn't lose you on the last one, maybe you'll endure and continue with me. The last one I introduced a topic that a lot of people hear, Calvinism, and there's a lot of debate around that, a lot of negative connotations, there's a lot of emotion involved around that, different opinions around that. So, let me answer a question for you. If you were to ask me the question, well, why in the world did you come to believe in what you're calling Calvinism? Well, this is book number 12. This is actually the second book that led me to believe in it. The first book, there is a little mini series of, they are theological novels. So in other words, it's dealing with theological things, but it's written in kind of a fictional way. You got a couple of you got fictional characters that are involved playing this out. Anyway, but the series is called the Journey series. It's written by a guy named Belcher, Belcher. If you was to do a Google or a Bing search on Journey Through Grace, that was the first book of that series, and that book is probably the one that, combined with, the timing was kind of, I don't remember exact timing, but that one was probably the first one that was instrumental in convincing me of the truth. And then the second one, which is this book here that I'm introducing you now, is book 12, is Putting Amazing Back into Grace, Embracing the Heart of the Gospel, and it's by Michael Horton. This book, you can see it's a good sized little book, and I want to say it came out in 91 as the first one, and then 94 was a reprint. But anyway, this book takes you through, and basically kind of takes you through, all the points of Calvinism, to kind of give you an introduction to the contents of this book. Chapter 1 is Jumping Through Hoops is for Circus Animals. 2, Created with Class. 3, Rebels Without a Cause. 4, Grace Before Time. 5, So What. 6, Climbing Jacob's Ladder. 7, Mission Accomplished. 8, Intoxicating Grace. 9, Righteous Sinners. 10, No Lost Causes. 11, 2 Keys to Spiritual Growth. And 12, A Kingdom of Priests. I like this book because it's not a technical book. He deals with all these theological issues, but he mixes in a lot of stuff that's common to us today. Like, there might be excerpts from movies and a reference to a movie to try to make a point and things like that. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that from the pulpit necessarily. A lot of people do, and if you can make that work, that's fine. But it's not a boring read, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not just technical, but there's some flesh and bone to it. But this book, I'll read the back, and maybe that'll kind of help you out. What does it mean to be saved by grace? Putting amazing back into grace reminds you of the Reformation's radical view of God and His saving grace, the liberating yet humbling truth that would contribute nothing to our salvation. It lays out the scriptural basis for the important doctrine and the implications of this message for a vibrant evangelical faith. Michael Horton's accessible treatment of who does what in salvation will inspire you with a fresh amazement at God's grace. And then there's a couple of quotes, comments from other people about this book. But I don't know what you think Calvinism is, or what you've been told Calvinism is, or if you believe it or not. I don't know, because there's so many different views out there. But let me encourage you, if you, even if you, you know, disagree with it, or at least disagree with what you've been taught that it is, let me ask you, do you know what it is? Do you understand why it says what it says? So I just want to challenge you, like I have in all these, to do your own research, your own investigation, and not go to second-hand sources or second-hand documentation, but go to the source. And this is one of them. This is one that will help you understand what Calvinism is, truly, not misconceptions of it, and not perversions of it. And when I say perversion, I don't want to give the idea that I'm somehow elevating this system. Oh, you know, it's called Calvinism, so for me to communicate that, I have to use that terminology. But you know, I'm not giving any kind of idol worship to John Calvin. I mean, I see him as just one of the teachers that God has given the church throughout the ages. But I would not, you know, I wouldn't elevate him, you know, to the, you know, to being an apostle or anything like that. But in order to communicate with you this, you know, the beliefs, the doctrines that I'm talking about, I have to use that terminology because that's what everybody calls it. But I'm going to say that there are different views of that out there, and some are true and some are not. And so what I'm talking about, which I'll kind of give this as a lead-in, when I'm done introducing these books, which I got 3 more to go, when I'm done introducing these books, I'm immediately going to go in and do a series of videos on the topic that's going to be introduced with the last 2 books. I'm going to do a series, you know, a series of messages, videos, and so forth on that topic. And then immediately after that, then I'm going to go into this topic, Calvinism. So if you'll hang out with me, if you won't immediately throw me in the trash and label me a heretic and cut off all ties with me, if you'll just hang in there and listen, and then engage with me. That's what I'm asking for, to engage, okay? But if you'll hang in there, then you'll see my presentation of what I'm saying it is. And then we can be on the same place. You know, if we bring out terms, one of the first things we have to do is define the term so that we make sure that we're understanding each other when we're using that term. You know, that's what language is all about. So, hang in there with me. Got a few more books to show you. And then we'll get into those series of messages and you can find out, you know, exactly what I believe. God bless, and we'll see you next time.